What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy MrBaboon back with a reaction of video. This time we had 30 times African safari trips went horribly wrong. Real fast, the video will be down in the description. The channel link will be down in the description. If you guys want to watch it, you guys can. There's something else I wanted to say. If you guys are liking the content I'm putting out, like the reaction videos, every now and then when I can get the gaming videos that actually put together, you know what I mean, and uploaded, and you know, the past streams uploaded and they actually work right. If you guys are enjoying those, make sure you guys do subscribe, ring the bell so you guys don't miss anything. And if you guys are watching this, make sure you guys like the video, comment, let me know what you guys think about what we about to find out. So with that being said, I think we're just gonna go ahead and get to it. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it real fast, like, ooh. So we will have this channel down below in the description if you guys want to watch it. Let's get to it.
Of a lifetime after a horrifying leopard attack. The clip begins with Richard Jones, a cameraman for BBC's Spy in the Wild series, attempting to track a pack of wild dogs. After a long time of scouting, the camera crew eventually spots a pack of dogs antagonizing an enormous and angry male leopard.
Oh.
A male leopard.
Coming this way.
Richard senses trouble.
The large animal proceeds to climb the trees to avoid the wild dogs, but just as they thought it was over, the leopard looks at the crew and does this.
Then it happens.
Hey, go away! Why?
The cameraman drops the camera out of fear, but due to Richard's experience and quick thinking, the crew managed to get out of this encounter alive.
Oh my, bro.
On a nice evening in...
I would have shit my pants if that happened to me. I would have shit my pants. No.
Zimbabwe, a group of tourists on a carriage had an encounter with a young male lion that didn't quite go as planned. While peacefully riding through the safari, one of the men spots a lion in the distance that unfortunately appears to be heading towards them.
Oh my gosh. Yep, it's coming faster.
By the way, that laughter was a novice laugh. A novice laughter.
Oh my gosh, there's a lion chasing us.
With the lion refusing to give up, the terrified tourists decide to pick up the speed in hopes to lose the animal.
Yes, go. He's slowing down. Oh, I'm so scared.
Eventually, they pick up enough speed where they manage to lose sight of the animal and are able to safely go on with their ride.
Oof. Bro.
What was supposed to be a normal encounter with an elephant quickly turned horrifying after it decided to ruin these tourists' trip to Kruger National Park. At the beginning of the video, a convoy can be seen trying to get past a giant elephant blocking the road. Moments later, the elephant proceeds to go off the road and into the grass, giving space for the first car to drive off while the others
Alright, give me a second there. Headset's a little loud. The last video was not so loud. This one.
decide to stay. As the animal walks further from the road, the second and third vehicles decide to drive off, thinking that it is already safe to move forward. While driving past the elephant, the unexpected happens after the giant and unpredictable animal decides to do this horrifying thing.
What?
Unfortunately, the clip ends prematurely, leaving the status of both the human and elephant unknown.
Damn.
right off the
Hopefully
bat.
everyone's
An
okay.
enormous hippo can already be seen charging towards the tourists at the beginning of this shocking
you should have
encounter.
been gone.
Naturally, the driver starts to speed away, hoping to escape the animal in time and ensure the safety of his
No, you
passengers.
should have been gone.
Too bad for them. Hippos can reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour in a snap, which leads to this happening.
Bro.
After the charge, the
Hippos
animal
are
quickly
scary.
flees in the opposite direction as the tourists process what just
Bro,
happened.
hippos are scary.
Wow.
Bruh. I feel like pretty much everything in Africa will kill you. Besides, I don't know, maybe possibly everything.
Alex, all right?
It's probably safe to say that the tourists learned a very valuable lesson that day.
Yeah, keep the engine started.
Tourists in Madikwe Private Game Lodge came across a terrifying sight after they caught an extremely protective mother leopard off guard. The heart-racing video picks up with the leopard bluff charging and threatening the tourists, recording it from afar. As they record the animal, despite it being aggressive, they eventually get the scare of a lifetime
I would've been
after
out.
it does this.
I would've been
Luckily, after a minute-and-a-half encounter, the predator eventually loses interest in the tourists and proceeds to back off into the bushes.
I would've been gone.
The idyllic river safari of Chobe suddenly became hostile after a group of tourists got too close to an elephant, agitating it and triggering an unfortunate turn of events. The video opens with a boat filled with tourists
Doesn't sound
approaching
good.
an elephant half submerged in the river as the tourists take pictures and videos of the animal. The boat does not stop drifting towards the animal, eventually getting close enough to the elephant, unsettling and upsetting it, making it do something extremely terrifying.
Look at his
After the large animals charge, the group stands their ground, which adds fuel to the fire, angering the elephant more, leaving it with no choice but to do this.
Bro, I would've been gone. Not swimming. Like, I would've
Bashing
just
the
like,
boat
oh, like,
several
oh.
times, the tourists become terrified, which eventually makes the tour guides steer the boat in another direction, away from the aggressive tusker.
Please, if something happens, just stay on the boat. Don't stand up.
Obviously, I'm staying on the boat.
Yeah,
I'm
you-
jumping.
Fortunately for them, the animal does not pursue the tourists, ending the encounter.
Bro, that could've been
A
bad.
South African safari, a group of tourists thought it'd be a good idea to park their car right next to a group of lions
know.
trying to relax.
What?
Unfortunately, they quickly regret their decision after getting the attention of one of the more curious lions.
Is that door locked?
You're supposed to lock the door.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know they could do that.
Still in utter shock, they now thankfully decide to lock their doors and proceed to drive away
Bro,
before anything else occurs.
My door would've been locked from the start.
A sunny day in Vale Water, South.
My door would have been locked from the start of that. Like, no. Before we even approach anything, before, like, the car even took off, as soon as I sat down, click, okay, I know I'm good, unless the window breaks. Like,
South Africa. These men had their enjoyable safari ride take a truly unpredictable turn when they got charged by a furious hippo. Before anything, they begin recording when they notice the curious animal slowly approaching their car from the road behind them.
Slag bietjie Isak. Kyk of ons hom hier kan in. Hou maar net in eerste hoor. Sal jy sê as jy kan ry?
Not expecting much to go wrong, they attempt to continue their unusual observation while they have the chance, when things very suddenly go south.
Kom maar bietjie.
Luckily for them, they gain sufficient speed where the animal gives up on the chase and they continue driving away altogether.
Nope. Nope.
Johannesburg National Park. A group of tourists and their safari guide had a dangerously close call with a dangerous elephant, and the outcome is terrifying. The clip starts out with the explorers and their tour guides calmly observing a giraffe in the distance from the safety of their bus. Out of nowhere, though, an elephant emerges from the bushes, and after taking an interest in the tour bus, the animal makes a beeline for it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Please don't. Remain seated. Remain seated. Remain seated.
On reaching the vehicle, the humongous mammal starts circling it, walking from one end to the other and sizing up the tourists. Moments later, the elephant decides that it has had enough and starts to walk away. However, in a surprising turn of events, the beast returns and does this. Noticing that things are getting out of hand, the bus driver immediately moves the vehicle, abruptly ending the encounter.
300 for that and 2,000
that
for this,
is
way too
crazy
expensive.
to
But
me.
today I'm going to show you guys how to get all this stuff for a lot cheaper.
That is crazy to me.
In Kruger National Park, a few tourists in a car felt comfortable enough to drive right next to a huge male lion trying to mind its own business. Eventually, though, the lion gets fed up and decides to let them know.
You stop the car.
Out of shock, they unfortunately stop recording and...
Bro, can we just talk about how this person, like, look at this, okay? Just look. They rolled up the window like that's gonna stop the lion.
Out of shock, they unfortunately stop...
Bro, if that lion wanted to, it literally could have got eaten. It would have just broken the window. It could have gotten eaten if it really wanted to. Just think about that.
Recording and most likely just drove away. On a sunny day in South Africa, a group of men's average safari expedition quickly turned for the worse after being chased down by a territorial male lion. At first, things seemed to be going according to plan as they simply observed the predators roaming around the plains up ahead. Out of nowhere, though, they notice one of the lions beginning to walk in their direction.
Quickly, let's go back. Quickly. Go. Go.
Even after backing away quite a bit, the hungry predator sadly decides that he won't let them go so easily.
Look, you guys are...
Now, fighting for their lives, the men continue to fire warning shots towards the animal, all while running as fast as they can.
He's dead!
Eventually, the lion thankfully decides to spare the men, and they simply proceed to record it from a safer distance.
Bro.
A fun trip on a safari became extremely terrifying after a safari
They got baby ones. Of course they're gonna get aggravated, bro. Like, these guys literally get hunted by lions and all kinds of, like, you know what I mean? So of course they're gonna get overprotected.
vehicle filled with tourists.
I wouldn't have if I'd seen that they had little ones, bro, I would've been like, okay, let's just go on. You know? I ain't trying to disturb them or piss them off. I pass.
Came face to face with a herd of elephants. This encounter starts off intensely as the video shows a large herd of elephants running towards a jeep, leaving the passengers terrified and concerned.
That's crazy.
The driver surprisingly remains calm and maneuvers through the dirt road carefully despite the herd of towering elephants running towards the group.
That's crazy.
If you die, it'll be over.
Fortunately, the elephants stop chasing the group after they get far enough away. In a Tanzanian safari, a seemingly average lion spotting quickly turned into a nightmare for some tourists when their car got surrounded by a whole group of male lions.
I think that lion just pissed
Initially, they parked their car on the side of the road after spotting the predators lurking around the tall grass up ahead. Unfortunately, the tension quickly rises when they realize that the lions are now walking right in their direction.
Using our car as a shield to get a shade.
Let's go, let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of too late.
Understandably, a few of the tourists begin to seriously panic as the three huge male lions begin walking around just a few feet from their truck.
See? You guys kind of can't go to shit.
Let's go.
I'm not happy with this.
For safety purposes, the tour guide, thankfully, decides to drive away from the predators in order to continue their observation from a safer distance.
Yeah.
At Kruger National Park, these tourists had their seemingly average safari trip take a truly horrifying turn when a white lion suddenly decided to leap into their bus.
Alright, what are we doing?
Relax. All of you relax. Relax. All of you relax. Relax.
Now full of panic, the tourists are immediately told to relax and attempt to slowly make their way out of the vehicle.
Do not jump out, climb out. Climb out. Climb out. Do not jump out. Relax. Come down. Relax.
They continue recording as the tour guides attempt to help out the remaining tourists, still unfortunately stuck inside with the lion.
Look at him. Look at him.
Ma'am, can you stand up? Can you stand up? Stand up. Stand up. Stand up, ma'am. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Come on.
Bro, why is people laughing?
They eventually manage to get everyone out of the bus safely and simply stop recording altogether. Kruger National Park, South Africa. An average safari drive quickly turned into a terrifying experience when these tourists encountered some territorial elephants. This nerve-wracking clip opens up with a group of tourists driving around in a game viewing vehicle in search of the huge animals.
Hey, for the people who's watching, if you guys are watching so far, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And real fast, let me know if you guys have ever been to on an African safari. Let me know. I feel like that would be really cool to hear about in the comments. You know what I mean? I have never been to one. I don't know if I will go to one. It's hard to say. It's Really hard to say. I don't know. But let me know if you guys ever been to one. And how was it? What was your experience like? And all this stuff. You know what I mean? Let me know down below in the comments.
After hearing one of the mammal's trumpets in the distance, the driver quickly begins to reverse, all while following the sound. Upon reaching the spot, the explorers spot an elephant in the distance. However, another elephant suddenly emerges from the nearby bushes and steals the show by doing this.
Bro, look, see? And then this one's gonna come out of nowhere. Watch. Oh! Out of nowhere! Distraction! Oh, he was playing it, bro!
Thankfully, the well-trained safari guide is able to avert the impending danger in the nick of time, and the animal wanders back into the bushes.
No, I could.
At the beginning of this terrifying video, lions can be seen swarming a blue sedan during a trip to South Africa. Unsurprisingly, most of the lions seen in the video are female, since they are the primary hunters of the pride.
When they drive away, they're gonna get
As the lionesses investigate the vehicle, another lion approaches the area, which makes the driver do this.
Oh! Why did he drive forward? They pulled the hubcap off.
No. They've got the hubcap.
Oh they got the hubcap off. Don't run over his paw. Uh-oh.
Despite being startled, the predators continue to swarm the car, biting and scratching its surface continuously. The driver finally decides to press on the gas, despite the threat of angering or activating the pride's prey drive.
Why would you drive away from this?
Oh my god, they're all coming. They're not coming after this car. They don't even know this one's moving. Let's go.
Eric, hold on.
Eric, come on.
They're attacking their car. We gotta
get this on video.
Although once the car gains enough speed, the animals wisely leave it alone.
Bro, that's crazy.
The video begins by showing a group of tourists on a trip to South Africa taking pictures of a male lion minding its own business. At first, the animal doesn't seem to mind the tourists taking pictures and videos of it as it scouts the area. But as a territorial and protective animal, it decides to do what it does best and scare the soul out of the tourists.
When they're full, their stomachs stand like this.
The animal does stop halfway, which is extremely lucky for the tourists. In northern Botswana, a safari tour went south after a tourist encountered a terrifying leopard that did the unexpected. This petrifying encounter starts with a man recording a leopard walking closer and closer to the truck where he and his tour guide are sitting. With the predator right beside his door, the man becomes rigid as he realizes the amount of danger he is in, when suddenly the animal decides to do this.
Ow. That kind of hurt.
Despite the animal scratching his leg, the man remains calm and collected, refusing to make any sudden moves that could escalate the situation and make things worse.
Yeah.
Watch my shoe.
Stop.
He's got my shoe.
Thankfully, the tour guide decides to turn the Jeep on, scaring the leopard away.
Damn.
While walking around in
That's
Zimbabwe,
crazy.
a group of innocent
Nah, that. What would you guys do in that situation? I don't know what I would do in that situation.
tourists came across a very territorial female lion who didn't seem so happy about having visitors. After spotting the animal staring at them up ahead, the armed tour guide quickly orders the group to slowly...
Wait, question. I don't really know this, but are these guys, like, not in a car? Because it looks like they're not, so it's kind of like... I thought safaris you had to be in a car type thing. You know what I mean? I didn't think you could actually walk. I feel like that's more dangerous than anything. So I feel like I will be in the car. You know what I mean? A little bit safer.
Up. Unfortunately, the predator only seems to get angrier by the second. Now seriously worried about their safety, the tourists continue to walk backwards.
Uh-oh. Stand or walk?
Hey.
Turn off the cameras now.
Sadly, they stop recording, and what happens next remains unknown.
Hopefully everyone's okay.
In a South African safari, this woman's seemingly normal evening drive quickly turned into a nightmare when she came way too close to a hungry group of lions. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary as she parks her car in order to observe the predators walking down from the road up ahead.
Look at them all just coming down. Apparently they've been looking at Impala for the last little while, so they're hungry. They're definitely in sort of alert hunting.
Hi, it's me.
Nope,
Jennifer
I could
Lopez.
not do
Here
that.
to invite you to
no.
celebrate.
I
So
could
come.
not. I would not be. No. They're
Nope. Coming right past the vehicle. This is incredible.
Contrary to what most
Hey,
would
show's
do,
incredible.
she decides to remain completely still as the group of lions now begin walking right past her.
So I'm just gonna sit really still and stationary. I'm gonna keep talking. There's nothing quite like lions walking past you, that's for sure.
For many more tense minutes, she and her cameraman avoid any sudden movement, all while many more predators continue to walk past them.
Hello, good evening. It's lovely to see you have blood on your face. Yes, you do. What did you kill? They've all got blood on them.
Feeling like she's had enough, she finally decides to start up her engine and drive away from the area while she still can.
Fuck that.
Kruger National Park, South
Hell
Africa.
no.
A brave safari guide was forced to face off against a vicious elephant to save the lives of his tourists. This intense clip starts out with an elephant charging right towards an armed man and his group. Rather than shrink away in fear, the brave man raised up his hand and miraculously stopped the elephant in its tracks. In the moments that followed, the two
does that work?
engage in an intense stare-down, with
someone-
neither of them agreeing to back
Can someone explain that to me in the comments, please? I'm very confused.
down.
I'm very confused on that. I'm very confused.
In the end, the elephant gives in and walks away, leaving the guide and his group to continue.
Because remember in one of the other clips we saw, the dude that was on the car when the elephant was coming, it was charging, and he just like, you know what I mean, did something, and then it kind of, you know, I don't know, I'm so confused.
Their
I don't know.
adventure.
I don't know. I'm so confused.
On a ride in Kruger National Park, a brave man on a search for lion footprints came across something truly shocking. After driving around for a little bit, he finally manages to spot what appears to be freshly made footprints in the dirt and tries to show them off to the camera.
Yes. This is very cool. So 1, 2 lioness. I mean, it's possible they've moved and they've gone completely different side of the property.
He gets back to driving around and eventually reaches another area where lion tracks seem to be on the ground. Not expecting much to happen, he gets out of his car once again and begins looking around the dirt when the unimaginable happened.
Sorry, I'm gone behind the car. It's very rude of me. I want to follow the track with a couple of words.
Bruh!
Okay, so everybody, we've just bumped into Pride of Lion.
Fearing for his safety, he quickly starts up his car and begins driving away completely.
Bro.
What was supposed to be...
That could have ended badly. I'm sorry for pausing a lot. Well, actually, I don't think I paused a lot, but, you know, it is what it is. But, I mean, I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go on a safari type thing.
A fun trip to Kruger National Park, South Africa, turned for the worse after a group of tourists were the victims of a horrible elephant attack.
What?
This bone-chilling clip shows a blue car leading a convoy attempting to drive past an enormous elephant that is blocking the road, preventing them from moving forward.
Ik neem een video, ik neem nog heel veel video.
You won't die. Reverse. They're gonna die. They're gonna die.
Suddenly, the group starts to panic due to the danger of the situation and tries reversing away, but they unfortunately catch sight of the horrors happening ahead. Unfortunately, the clip ends abruptly, and what happens next remains a mystery. Kruger National Park, a group of tourists on an exciting safari drive, unfortunately had a few hungry lions come and ruin the fun.
Can we just talk really fast? Okay, lions, leopards, cheetahs, all of them, they're really pretty. Don't get me wrong. All these animals are beautiful. Do not get me wrong with that. But, like, they are so dangerous. Even these guys are dangerous. No. Even these guys right here. Oh, wait. These guys right here are dangerous. We know these guys are dangerous. Okay? We know these guys are dangerous, okay? This one is also dangerous. And look how close. Like...
Initially, everyone on the tour bus seems to be peaceful.
Alright, I made up my mind. I don't think I will go on an African safari. As much as I would really like to, I don't think I will.
Observing the animals up ahead when they suddenly notice a group of lions to their left.
I've never seen such a thing. And they're getting closer and closer. Look how focused they are.
As time goes on, the predators appear to be tensing up and adopting a more hostile position, which unfortunately triggers one of the buffaloes to get defensive. Unfortunately for the lions, the rest of the herd also decides to get involved and join the fight. Eventually, the predators manage to get left alone and proceed to walk away from there in one piece. Kruger National Park, a group of tourists paid the price for venturing a little too close to a herd of elephants. The clip starts out with a herd of elephants emerging from the bushes and walking out onto the road. But when some onlookers get a little too comfortable, things take a horrifying turn.
Hi, it's Will from Booker Law. If you use Steam, the PC game platform, you could be entitled.
Bro, you can't be doing that. And look, we're about to see.
Luckily for the tourists, no one is harmed, and the elephants simply head deeper into the parklands. A mesmerizing yet unnerving experience greeted a group of tourists after they got a close meeting with a large leopard on a safari. This adrenaline-inducing clip shows a few tourists following a leopard while it's walking around, most likely hunting for prey.
Like, how am I gonna get food when you guys are sitting here fucking with me?
The predator can repeatedly be seen approaching and going past the tourists' ride, leaving the tourists both amazed and yet terrified at the same time.
Ooh. Bro, that's crazy.
The encounter ends with the leopard finally disappearing into the bush away from the tourists.
That's crazy.
In Serengeti National Park, Tanzania, a group of tourists came dangerously close to being attacked by an overprotective male lion. This chilling clip picks up right as this man notices a lioness curled up beside the vehicle, but he suddenly gets the heart attack of his life.
Yeah, no, I feel like they lions very
Moments
protective of their own pride. I think that's what they're called, right? Or like their own pack. I don't exactly know the proper term, but aren't they like very protective?
Later, a lion who has just noticed his female is missing comes out in search for her. Upon seeing her, he begins to eye the vehicle suspiciously. Before he has time to act, the driver revs the engine to life, startling both animals, and they instinctively head towards the other vehicle. After a few tense minutes, the tour guide of the other car starts seeing the male lion as too much of a threat, and he tries to scare it off as well. Thankfully, both predators retreat back towards the tall grass, and the tourists simply move on with their expedition.
Bro, that's crazy.
On November 24th, 2021, wildlife enthusiast Ewan Wilson got up close and personal with a herd of giant elephants when he tried to retrieve a camera trapped in the bush. This heart-racing clip starts off with Ewan sitting on the Jeep's hood, while a herd of enormous elephants walks closer to him, making him freeze in fear. Unable to move from being terrified, he stays on the hood of the Jeep, sitting as still as possible to avoid shocking or irritating the herd in front of him. Eventually, his team, driving the Jeep, decides to slowly drive in reverse after seeing the elephants gradually lose interest in Ewan, walking away from him. Luckily, no one was harmed during this long encounter with a herd of elephants.
Yeah, number 2.
A sunny day in Tanzania, these tourists felt rather excited after noticing a female lion approaching their car when things suddenly took a very unexpected turn.
Right next to us, Dad. Right.
Oh, don't run.
Don't move.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
He's attacking your tire. Hey, he's attacking your tire. Oh, man.
As even more female lions begin to join the scene, the tourists attempt to save themselves by driving away when this happens.
What is down there?
They're like, oh.
He's blowing your tire.
He blew up our tire.
Blew the tire out, right?
Yep.
He took the tire out?
Yep, blew up our tire. There's like so many looking at our car. They think we're the enemy.
Oh my God.
Really not wanting any more trouble, they decide to leave those lions alone and drive away altogether.
Bro,
A
what?
group of tourists got the experience of a lifetime after they were greeted by an aggressive and angry elephant during a trip to Serengeti in northern Tanzania, Africa. This clip begins with a group of tourists riding a jeep, getting up close to a herd of enormous elephants, attempting to get to the other side of the road.
No, don't be scared. Stay right here. Awesome.
You gonna think awesome?
Unable to keep up with the herd, an enormous male bull does this after its path is blocked by the tourist, making it unable to catch up with its herd.
These two here still want a piece of each other.
The towering bull attempts to scare the tourists multiple times, but to no avail, making him angrier and more aggressive as he tries to charge again and again. In an attempt to calm the aggressive, raging animal, the tourists decide to drive far away from the spot as the huge animal keeps chasing them despite their efforts. Thankfully, it loses interest and stops chasing the tourists.
That's pretty much the end of that. Let me know what you guys thought about that. This was definitely a fun video to react to, I will say. Is my shit just dying? I think my shit's just dying. So, I mean, it was definitely a fun video to react to, I will say. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Like I said, if you guys ever been on, like, an African safari, let me know what your guys' thought was about it. Let me know if anything interesting happened. Let me know if, like, just let me know how it went, okay? I will see you guys in the next video. You guys stay safe. Watch out for each other. Positivity is key. Motivation is key. Happiness is key. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys be safe. Watch out for each other. I'll see you guys in the next one.